Being accepted into Northeastern University was some of the greatest news I've ever gotten. After a long and stressful senior fall of applying to colleges and worrying about rejection, I was overwhelmed with excitement when I was accepted into my top choice, Northeastern. My whole body was tense and shaking as I opened an email from the Office of Admissions, subject line reading application status available. I opened my email to a page that read congratulations, and I couldn't believe it. Out of pure excitement and pride, I continued to look at the email. But as I kept reading it, my excitement began to die down. When I neglected to realize what was my acceptance into the NUN program, where I would be traveling abroad the very first semester of my freshman year, thousands of miles away from home. That's when I started to have doubts. The prospects of the program were already so different from my preconceived expectations of my freshman year, but as I continued my research into the program and weighed my options, I knew this was the right one, even though it was going to be the most difficult. But from my experiences throughout life, the greatest and most valuable lessons are a result of overcoming difficulties. Although it may sound strange and generally discouraging, I had a very hard time with adjusting to a lot of the aspects of this trip. However, I truly believe that the most difficult parts of my experience here in Thessaloniki have also been the most rewarding.
There is a place in the distance, a place that I've been dreaming of. No time and space don't exist, and we can dance like there's no tomorrow. There is a place.
Thessaloniki is an absolutely incredible city to live in for 3 months as a college student. The city is young and there is so much to do, whether it's walking down the boardwalk, exploring Aristotle Square, or my personal favorite, experiencing all of the amazing restaurants here. But even amidst all of the excitement, there were still plenty of times where I felt extremely lonely. 3 months doesn't seem like such a long time when you think about it, but it really is a lot of time. Not only did I realize how long it felt through my occasional homesickness, but I also realized how long it is through how much I've changed. And change only comes with time. But then again, this was such an incredible trip that time also seemed to fly by. Before coming to Greece, I was significantly less open-minded and interested in trying new things. 3 months ago, if you told me I was going to try grilled octopus, I wouldn't have believed you. But then again, if I was told a year ago that I'd be studying in Greece, I would have laughed and said, no way. But here I am learning so much, gaining a global perspective, and growing as a person more than I ever would have thought. It has been difficult, lonely, and frightening at times, and I think I can speak for all of us when I say that. But at the same time, I don't think anyone expected it to be easy. But of course I also had countless incredible experiences along the way that weren't as difficult. I stepped outside my comfort zone and met so many new people, all coming from different parts of the United States, and even some from out of the country. The American College of Thessaloniki was a perfect place to study. Living in such a big city could be overwhelming at times, but the small campus here made it feel like home. The staff is some of the friendliest I've ever met, and each student here brought their own perspective to the table. I also spent a lot of time getting to know the locals here in Thessaloniki, particularly one group of girls that taught me more than I ever would have thought. Once a week, I would take a trip to the Melissa Orphanage, spending time with a group of girls, ages ranging 5 through 18. Through this, I realized how much I take for granted in my life, while I also related to these girls through missing and appreciating my own home. But eventually, with time, I was able to call the Metropolitan Hotel home, and what I soon realized was that my home was in Europe, surrounded by so many other different and amazing places, so of course I took advantage of that as well. I traveled to Italy and Spain, both incredible trips that I will never forget. In Rome, Milan, and Parma, I was surrounded by beautiful architecture and history that had me in awe, and of course restaurants with the best pizza and pasta I've ever had. I also visited Spain with several friends and explored the beautiful city of Barcelona. And of course I can't forget Mount Olympus, which didn't require a plane ride, but it might as well have after all of the strenuous climbing in high altitude. But after my sore legs healed, I was able to say that I climbed Mount Olympus, and how many 18-year-olds from the US can say that? Both the highs and the lows of my experience in Greece contributed equally to what I gained. I had incredible experiences meeting people, traveling, and trying new things, but if it weren't for all of the difficulties, I wouldn't have been able to say I actually accomplished something. And that's what this is all about. Accomplishment and experience. I was able to enjoy myself here while also learning about different cultures, taking difficult classes, and overcoming countless obstacles. I've missed home more than I ever have while I was here, but I cannot express how incredibly grateful I am for that. On December 12th, when I step on American soil for the first time in 89 days, my primary goal is to enlighten everyone on my experience. my family, friends, but most importantly, students at Northeastern. I never really knew what they meant by the importance of a global experience until I gained one myself, and I think that at some point in college, everyone should study abroad, because what I learned in Greece is this. Yes, it is a foreign country, and it will remain that way, unless you make the effort to immerse yourself into the culture. And although it was a difficult transition, it was all worth it, because now I can say I have 3 homes. My home in Winchester, Mass., Thessaloniki, Greece, and Northeastern University.